You know how there are people out there who fear the uprising of the machines? You know, Terminator-style chew.
I'm embracing it.
Yeah, we know. Mr. Burger Flipper over there. You're actually funding and fueling it. I think the machines are already screwing with us. I think they're already messing with us.
Why do I feel this is going towards the parking structure? I just have a feeling.
Every morning when I come here, I play this little game with the gate in the parking structure. We have these cards that you swipe to get into the parking structure, but in recent months/years, we also have been given the option of giving the company, the building, your license plate number, and then it will scan your license plate, and it will read your license plate, and it will automatically open the gate. So you don't have to grab your little card that has the barcode, the QR code, and swipe it in front of the laser. You can just pull in, it reads your license plate, and the gate will open, and you can proceed. So I got a little bit used to the luxury of the license plate read, Chew. Does that work for you, the license plate read, when you come here?
No, this is why I get paper tickets at the airport. It's the same thing.
Wait,
if you have
what?
the little QR code, little tag, Jen, it'll work every time.
You're telling me you're the guy who's printing out the paper boarding pass at the airport? You're the guy, the one guy who's over there scanning.
Because the phone is not going to work 100% of the time. You know what does? The paper ticket. It always works. Because here, Jen, in Tampa, before you get onto the tram to take you to your gate, to go to TSA, you have to scan your ticket to open the gate just to get on the tram. Milwaukee doesn't have that. So you need to use it one time. And I don't know how many times I use my phone, and it's like, no, doesn't work. Ticket always works. Paper ticket.
What percentage, Joshy, of people right now, 2026, are using paper boarding passes? And this is a secondary question. Are they all over the age of 50?
Yep. I'm glad you specified that because a callback to Monday's show where Chewy was accusing Homer's generation of doing old people stuff and a lot of the problems that he finds with the world. It's definitely probably 45, 50 and up. 50 and up is probably the cutoff there.
Well, let me ask you this.
I wouldn't even know how to print. I wouldn't know what to do if I wanted to get a paper boarding.
You go, well, when you check your bags, because we always check bags here because we're always carting clothes back and forth. So now, if I wasn't checking a bag, my wife would. I'm not allowed to have it on my phone because I fumble around.
That makes more sense. Maybe that's
too difficult
the explanation here.
But
you're not allowed to put the boarding pass on your phone.
You fumble around.
It's just, I have the phone upside down. It's just like, She likes things running smoothly.
It can be scanned any which way.
I don't know.
As long as the brightness is up.
Let me ask you this. With the license plate thing, because that's much easier, right, Jen?
Obviously.
Are you guys opposed? Like, I've given up. You want my eyeballs. You want my fingerprints. You want my facial recognition. Have it. I don't care. The only thing I am not doing is putting a chip into my body. You want my eyeballs, you want my ears, you want my tongue, you want my fingerprints. Fine, because they probably have it anyways.
Who's scanning tongues?
I'm just saying, is that the next thing? You go to the dentist and can we see your tongue? Oh, okay, your x-rays come right up.
They would probably just use your eyeballs. I have no problem with the facial recognition stuff. You guys know I travel a lot. Clear does that. You have the option of Clear at the airport, and they just scan your face, and then you're in. But I'm fascinated with this paper boarding pass. I want to put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll this morning.
I just want to say before we move on too far, I have a problem with stealing privacy. I think that is one of the worst things that could be the outcome of our current world.
So hold on. Are you anti, like you won't let them scan your face then for stuff?
Sometimes I don't have an option. Like when I went to Mexico, they just pushed me into this thing and said, hey, we're doing a face scan. And I said, what are we doing? And they just did it. I understand that they're likely stealing it. As we can see, there's constantly. I don't know if you saw what happened with 330 million people's Social Security information getting stolen and then traded to companies. But that stuff's happening regardless of what I'm doing. I still think it should be illegal. I still think it should be prosecuted. But I understand everywhere I go, there's probably a camera tracking my face. There's probably somebody getting all sorts of information.
Josh, your phone, I mean, that thing is scammy to begin with.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Well, and again, we go to sporting events, we work in sports, so I actually like knowing, again, when I go to football games, that they can scan the crowd for people who might be up to no good. I actually think that gives me a sense of peace. It gives me a little bit more comfort when I'm walking into these places, especially these big time events, right? When I go to the national championship and there's civil unrest, just generally speaking, not specifically to where we are, I like knowing that those safety measures are in place.
Who's determining the safety measures?
I don't know, Joshy. I'm just telling you,
See, that's the problem.
It gives me a little peace of mind to know that if somebody were in there with nefarious intentions, there's a likelihood that when they entered the premises, scanned, and then maybe somewhere in some little
like
room
that
with
too.
computers,
I'm with you.
They are like, oh, let's keep an eye on this person. Makes me feel better about being in those situations where I feel like I don't have a ton of control. Getting back to the parking structure, I genuinely think the gate is messing with me. Because what I've done is I've gotten comfortable with the license plate scan, and then I don't pull in close enough to the scan stand. And so then I'll be expecting my license plate to scan and the gate to open. And then it doesn't, and then I'm too far from so then I'm doing the thing too where you have to open the door and you have to lean out the door with your card to boop the card in front of the laser. The minute I get comfortable with the card, I drive in and all of a sudden, whoop, gate opens. Oh, it scanned my license plate. This has happened pretty regularly over the last, 2 months or so since I've been home from college football. Joshy, I know you've got a similar experience with the infrequency of the gate.
There is an interesting portion here because it's not nearly as much of a inconvenience to me, this never worked for me until recently. The license plate scanning thing, I don't know what changed. I didn't change anything on my car. I didn't change my car. I didn't give them any additional information either in the recent history. Just suddenly it started going up automatically as I was reaching to scan it. I keep the card in my cup holder, so it's never anywhere where I need to search for it. It is always right there next to me, and I always pull up every single time like it's going to require a scan. It is inconsistent, and I haven't quite figured out exactly what it is. There are lines painted.
I know what it is.
And I'm trying to figure out, am I either too far left or right of the center? Am I not pulled enough forward, or am I pulled too far forward? I haven't quite figured out what exactly the reason is. I do know that entering is way more difficult than exiting, and I can't really piece together why there's different results.
And of course, the irony of that is it doesn't matter how long it takes me to exit the parking structure, but I need to get in a timely manner in order to get my butt in this chair before Joshy drops the open.
Is it dirty license plate that it can't read?
I thought that could potentially be it, but I came with snow on my car on Monday because obviously we had the snowstorms here. And I wasn't covering my license plate, but it was in and around the area, and it worked perfectly. And it didn't work last week when I left when my car was 100% clean.
So do you think the QR code, after you open it with that 10 times, gets smart, and then it recognizes your license plate with the QR code? Because I never gave them any information on what I drive or what my license plate is.
See, I don't remember when we filled out the information to get in what information I gave them.
Was it an email?
I don't know if it was an email or actually something I put writing on paper. I feel like I gave them my license plate because that's part of, hey, you're here. We want to make sure.
Onboarding type stuff?
Right, yeah. I don't recall, though.
All I know is it reminds me of that scene from Happy Gilmore when he's trying to learn how to putt at the putt-putt place, and the clown keeps kicking back the golf ball, and it's like, that's what I feel like every time I pull into the parking structure. I'm like, okay, parking structure, are we going to do this today, or are we going to have an issue today? And
so
more often than not, I have an issue.
Where's your QR code?
Where's my?
Please don't tell me it's in the purse, because you're never going to find it in there.
Oh, no, I keep the card in the cup holder. except for today when I had it in my pocket. So this is the next layer, and I don't know, again, this is a little inside baseball, but you guys will get this. So the other issue is now we need the QR card to get out of the building, to get into the parking structure. That's a safety measure that they implemented after there was a significant incident in the parking structure. And so now in order for us to get back into the parking structure, you have to swipe your QR code. So what I do is I bring my card inside and I stick it in my sports bra every day. So it's just sitting there next to my left boob, just hanging out for the 2 hours of the show. And then when I leave the building, Chew, I know exactly where it is. I pull it out of my sports bra and I boop the door to get into the parking structure.
Question. Why don't you just put it on your keychain?
That's where mine is. Scan that
That's where mine is.
every day.
I don't think I like your tone, Joshy. I don't think I like what you're implying.
I need my keys to get into my car.
Yes.
I know if I'm going to the garage, I'm going to have my keys to get into said garage. And if I don't have my keys, it'll then be a signal because I can't get out the door. Uh-oh.
So it sounds like you're implying that there might be some user error here, that it might be part of my process that
if I could
flawed.
lay it on thicker, I would.
I don't think you could, if I'm being honest with you. I do want people to weigh in on the boarding pass thing. I think it's fascinating that you look. I agree with you from a efficiency standpoint. Going and getting the paper boarding pass, even though it means going down to the kiosk, which, by the way, I never have to go to because I always do a carry-on, so I'm never going down to that level, like specifically at Mitchell, to get the paper boarding pass. But I think you're right, Chew. There is something not satisfying, but there's something comforting about knowing that your paper boarding pass is never going to glitch.
Yes, because I've left my phone. I'm bad with my phone. I leave my phone. You know the little dish they give you before you go through the X-ray detector?
Yeah.
You know, you got your big thing, and then I always throw it in there, and more than one. And whenever Angie hears someone has left their iPhone back at TSA, I'm like, show me your phone. And that's happened like
more often
that's
than not,
why
it's you.
I also like the paper ticket. It's so much easier. You fold it up, put it in your pocket, you go through the X-ray detector, it doesn't go off. Easy peasy.
My issue was when I did have to, and it wasn't, we didn't all have digital and the ease of it, I would have great stress around losing the paper ticket. I feel like I'm more likely to have my phone on me at all times than I am to have something in my pocket, especially if I'm wearing like sweatpants and I recline and, you lean back in your seat as you're sitting waiting to board. I feel like I'm more likely to lose my, especially if I have a connecting flight, then that's panic city.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm with you right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did I put it? Where am I? You know where I put it? Sports bra.
Just say left boob.
Next to the left boob. Reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talking text line this morning. Colin says, Chewy's right. I always print my boarding passes.
Yes.
It never fails. And Colin weighs in saying, and I'm only 28 years old. Ryan from McGuanago, loyal listener, says, I always print paper tickets. I'm not 50 years old. And then he also adds, gates with frickin' laser beams.
See, you guys are losing already. This is going to be a good Wednesday.
It's a Wendorf Wednesday here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. That means we have Adam Schefter coming up a little bit later in the show. Lots of stuff to get to today. Watched USA Baseball lose last night to Venezuela. Josh said it was a bit of a boring game, but man, when Bryce Harper hit that home run late in the game to tie things up, I was all the way back into it. We'll get to that. Bob Harlan's name is going up on the facade at Lambeau Field. Your reaction to that. And when we talk to Adam Schefter, we're going to dive into this NFLPA situation. JC Tretter now getting the job as the head guy. What does that mean for the players in the NFL? What does that mean for negotiations going forward? We'll get all that information out to you guys this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got delays eastbound 94 from 84th Street all the way to about Hawley Road, and then again from Mitchell Boulevard all the way through the Stadium interchange to 35th. The westbound side tightens up in Waukesha, the county, that is, just west of Moreland Road to Calhoun, and again heading towards Barker Road from Brookfield Road. Northbound on 41, you got backups north of Watertown Plank Road up to about Burleigh, and then we've got delays on northbound 4394 from just north of Howard Avenue up past Oklahoma Avenue. Traffic is brought to you you by Glenroy, now hiring. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Partly cloudy skies, a high of 38. Tonight, we've got a rain-snow mix likely, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Tired of always waking up exhausted? Is that dad bod starting to weigh on you? Finding it harder to get excited about, basically anything? If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, it might not be that you're just getting older. Look, I've told myself that for years, but Mentality was able to help me because there's, just like me, a good chance your hormones and metabolism are just out of balance. So this new year, let's get back to the old you. I know you remember that guy, sharp at work, full of energy, fun, the one that people enjoyed being around. That's where Mentality comes in. I've been working with Mentality for years, so I can tell you it's not a macho, low-T bro clinic. No, they're human-centered. Their mission is to figure out what's really going on in your body and brain. Mentality starts by listening. They run real labs, explain your results in plain English, and then, my favorite part, not one size fits all, they build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and FDA-approved peptide treatments to help your brain and body get back on track. Stop telling yourself and everyone around you that you're fine. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250 right out of the gate. So don't wait. Reclaim the old you, the younger you, with Mentality.
Spring is here, and that means it's time for Brewers baseball.
Is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich.
The Crew open up the season at home against the Chicago White Sox on March 26th. Stay up to date with all your Brewers opening day coverage on ESPN Milwaukee. Presented by KB Excursions, Cardless, and National Liquor Mart. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Looking for a dinner that actually impresses and cocktails that keep the conversation going? Head to the second floor of St. Kate the Arts Hotel and discover the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. Bold, elevated dinners, thoughtfully crafted cocktails. It's the kind of place where every plate and every pour is made with intention. Come for dinner, stay for another round. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
TBD.
No, not how this works.
Attaboy.
That's not how any of this
That's
works.
how you make content.
What do you mean? That's how it works for him.
What's TBD mean?
To be determined.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
To be determined.
Did you hear him say to be dumb?
To be done. Did Joshy say that?
He did.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We've got Adam Schefter coming up shortly on a Wendorf Wednesday here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy at Tony Wendorf and Associates Keller Williams. They believe in the human side of real estate, faith, family, and friends. They move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so their clients win, no matter if it's buying or selling. Get started today at wendorfteam.kw.com, wendorfteam.kw.com. It was a big day yesterday for people like Joshy. I don't know if you saw this, Chew, but sports betting in Wisconsin, there was a bill. The bill has passed. It now sits on the governor's desk to be signed. Unclear whether Evers will sign the measure into law, but it does feel like we are that much closer to being able to gamble online in the state of Wisconsin. And we have talked about this before, for many years. Craig, for one, would drive down to the Illinois border to place his bets. Now, of course, you can go over to Potawatomi and do it in the sports book. But if this gets signed, Chew, you'll be able to bet essentially statewide from your phone. Are you pro getting this pushed through, or are you like some people who think there are still pitfalls to legalizing gambling, sports gambling statewide?
No, I'm fine with it. I think most states have this. Do we know how many states do not allow gambling? And it's all because of a previous law that was signed years ago because of the casinos in Wisconsin, if I'm not wrong, Josh. I don't think he signs it, though.
Yeah, I guess I don't have any inside information on
that
how
was
he
my
feels.
that was my belief that there was a law written years ago where they would not allow this, and I want to say it goes back 20 or 30 years. I think they should. I mean, it's tax dollars coming into the state, right?
Yes.
It's like THC. And I get why it's not in the state of Wisconsin, but I mean, a lot of people go to Illinois, a lot of people now Minnesota, a lot of people go to Michigan, and there's a lot of tax dollars going out of the state. A lot. So
I'm looking at a list
I'm all
here.
for tax dollars.
I'm looking at a list here, too. It looks like it was updated late 2025, and it lists every state in alphabetical order, and significant number of yeses do they allow online gambling.
Yeah.
I think I'm seeing Mississippi is a no, Missouri is a no, Montana is a no, New Mexico is a no, North Dakota is a no, South Dakota is a no, and that's it.
Yeah, so there's a lot. It's probably time for them to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I won't, but I'm sure a lot of people would love to.
There's pitfalls to anything, and any legalization of something that was previously illegal. I do think you do have to sort of focus on the idea that if people don't have the option to do it legally online, they are oftentimes going to more predatory practices and practices that aren't regulated by governing bodies, which could make it hence more dangerous or potentially have more negative effects. I think a legalized version that is regulated through the proper channels is a good step into, because I don't know if you know this, but people are going to gamble whether it's legal or not.
Yes.
So that to me is sort of the big point here of allowing people a version to do it where you can at least have guidelines and some sort of protection of the consumer to a degree more than it would be on the wild, wild west of whatever internet version you can find and put money into.
Chewy, you mentioned the weed debate, which has been going on for a very long time here in Wisconsin, and we often track it back to the Tavern League and how strong they are and how they feel like it will cut into their revenue if they start legalizing marijuana in Wisconsin, although we have talked about how essentially we're a hot box because every state around us has legalized weed, and then to your point, that means that they are capitalizing on tax dollars coming in. I can't help but wonder when they put this in front of the group that voted on it yesterday, if they didn't just say, we're not stopping people from gambling. We are just exporting our gamblers to the other states around us. And again, all of this, the understanding is that you could go to Potawatomi, you could have gone to Oneida, you could have gone to some of these places and done some of the sports betting legally. But I do like now that you have the option of doing it from your couch, from your home, from your office, although I'm sure employers are not excited about the office element of it. What uptick do you think there will be, Joshy? If this passes and Governor Evers signs on the dotted line, how much of an uptick in sports gambling here in Wisconsin will you see? My guess is you still won't be able to bet on the collegiate athletics.
Yeah,
that's the standard right now.
Yeah, those standards are probably all going to stay the same. I would say there's going to be a decent noticeable difference. It's hard to gauge, though. I don't know how prepared the people who are going to be allowed to do it and the companies are going to be allowed to do it, how fast their apps are going to be usable and how fast they're going to be user-friendly. There certainly will be some that probably take off and have more advantage, but it's sort of something you need to find out. And there's certainly a market for it everywhere. If you look around the nation and the places that do have it, there is a significant amount of money generated from that. I don't know how fast any of this can take place, and like if Governor Evers signs it tomorrow, is there going to be an app on Friday that I can download and bet from Potawatomi? I don't know any of those regulations, but I would expect it to be pretty fast and I don't think they're going to be caught with their pants down. That's for sure.
If you had to guess right now, do you think Evers signs it? It's a total crapshoot. It's a 50-50 yes or no.
Yes. I think when something has, general support and something is then passed by the people who are in charge with that, I think you're kind of pushed towards doing it.
Chew, I assume that Evers has to consider his legacy here.
There will be a lot of pushback from the casinos, rightfully so. But
no,
you know what?
The casinos are all on board with it.
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
The casinos are the only ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe it does pass. But I'm blown away on how young, and I'm talking of legal age, but like my kids, and they don't gamble a lot, but they'll be gambling during the game. It'll be halftime. They'll be like, "Oh, this is bet so much here. I put 10. They'll put $10, $20 down." And they're, I guess, responsible gamblers, but them and their friends, like, what's the average age of someone at Potawatomi? Because I'm not a gambler. I don't get. I'd rather spend $100 on a bottle of wine than lose at blackjack.
There's a difference between the sports book demographic and the casino demographic. Joshy, would you say that tracks for your experience
100%,
as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
The sports book is younger?
Skews a little younger,
Yes.
certainly skews male.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it's, again, you're watching the games. You got the big screens there. The casino, I still think, skews a little bit older.
Yeah. I mean,
when I've been there.
It's all anecdotal. I don't have any proof on it. But yes, I'll be walking through today.
Observational,
Yes.
if you will.
When the people I'm talking about sports gambling with and the people I'm talking about slot machines with are different different age groups typically, but it's not that other people don't. You certainly see younger people there. It's just, I think, the comfortability and the digital natives and the younger people are just more accustomed to sort of the inner workings of sports gambling and the app usage and all that stuff.
All right, let's put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll as well, Joshy. Wisconsin finally inching towards online sports betting being legal. Are you excited about this or are you nervous about this? Because I understand a nervousness from some people about what it's going to mean for the frequency and sort of the infiltration of sports betting into more aspects of your life if you can do it from wherever you are. But I mean, things like FanDuel, things like DraftKings, those are already out there. People are doing that stuff, right? I think it's illegal, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can't, in the state, right? You can't do that.
No,
Josh. You can't go
because it's all geo-tagged, right?
Correct. If I were to open, like I have one of the sports books for when I travel, I'll use. And if I try and open it here, it just does nothing for me.
So what does that mean for the sports teams in Wisconsin? I would think that's a huge advertising opportunity for them.
I believe I saw, and I don't want to put any. I believe I saw one of the professional teams was voted as a yes in the state. And
I got to take a look at that list. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see somebody had put out a list of the places that were in favor or against it. And if I recall correctly, there was at least one professional sports team that had voted yes.
Let me ask you, because I know you can't bet on Wisconsin sports team as of right now, correct? What is the fear?
You can bet on pro
professional
teams
sports.
for sure. Yeah, we've bet on the Packers. We've bet on the
The
Bucs.
fear is
we've
with
bet on
college kids, they're more easily manipulated with smaller amounts of money that could then affect the outcomes of games.
So it has nothing to do with point shaving.
It does have.
Yeah,
yes,
that's it. Because
does.
it's too easy to get to these kids.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
Like a kid from UWM is ultimately a lot more accessible to somebody who are up to something nefarious than Jordan Love would be.
Or Boston College.
Correct.
Okay.
Not to get specific.
There is a very interesting article out there. I read it when I was traveling this past weekend. I think I sent it to you guys. Maybe I didn't. But it was about a guy who was given $10,000 by his employer to bet on sports. I guess it was last week. And it's really interesting how he talks about how it changed fundamentally the way he watched sports. All of a sudden, he wasn't invested in a game, but all of a sudden he throws $20 on this guy, and then he is like locked into the stats of has Jordan Love thrown for 250 yards yet in this game. So I think we should be prepared for it to fundamentally change how people are watching sports. But I think the reality is, for too long, we've been outsourcing those tax dollars to other places. It's time that Wisconsin gets a piece of that. And that, of course, is going to happen if Governor Evers signs this into law. We got to get to Adam Schefter. He's coming up next year on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are backing up a bit. Westbound on 94, right through the stadium interchange, starting at 35th Street, past Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, got a little bit of a heavy ride from 164 past Highway F in Waukesha County. Then some more delays before 84th Street, pretty much all the way to 35th. Got some delays northbound 4394 coming out of the Plainfield curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. And then northbound 41 also slowing down from about Wisconsin Avenue all the way up to Burleigh. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, high of 38. Tonight, a rain-snow mix likely, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. Weather's brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Upgrade your wellness routine with an in-home infrared sauna. Visit goodhealthsaunas.com and check them out at the Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th at State Fair Park's Expo Center. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Smart 18 knows that success takes teamwork. With top-level training, healthcare, and retirement plans, Smart Local 18 gives you the tools to win on and off the job site. Visit smart18.org and join the team that builds America.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience. With a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in an ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move.
And he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
And Joshy's biggest fan.
It's nice to see Josh at the big boy table. Thank you, everybody. Keep up the good work, Josh.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter on JGC is sponsored by Island Resort and Casino, Tony Wendorf and Associates, and Smart 18 Union.
Adam Schefter is presented by our friends Tony Wendorf and Associates Keller Williams. It is a Wendorf Wednesday here on Jen, Gabe, and Shuey. At Tony Wendorf and Associates, they believe in the human side of real estate, faith, family, and friends. They move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so their clients win no matter if it's buying or selling. Get started today at wendorfteam.kw.com, wendorfteam.kw.com. Hello, Adam Schefter. How are you today?
Hello, Jen and Chewy. How are we doing today?
We are good. Cannot complain. I saw that there was some big news yesterday as the NFLPA elected J.C. Tretter as its next executive director. And I, like a lot of people, had seen that, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe less, Tretter had emphatically said he did not want this job. What changed?
He did want the job. I mean, I don't know why he changed his thoughts. And you know, to me, he's somebody that had done work with the group in the past and had done some good work. Also was connected to Lloyd Howell, who obviously went out in an embarrassment. And so I thought they were seeking like a total overall, like just different faces, different voices, different everything. And that wasn't the route they went. And I think at that time, he probably wasn't seeking it because a part of him was connected to Lloyd Howell. And I think when he stepped away and people realized that he wanted to do the job, he decided to get back in. He felt like he could help the players, and he had a lot of experience to offer is what he felt, I'm going to guess.
Well, Adam, he had some questionable things in his past. Did he get the vote because the players really wanted a former player in that position?
I don't know if that's why he got the vote. You know, I think again, like I said, I was of the mind all along when they were doing an election that it would be somebody that's outside. But the problem is that you have to have somebody that's familiar with how it works. I always say, like, in these jobs, there are people who get it and people who don't get it. And it's hard to bring in somebody from the outside who gets it sometimes, as good as they may be. I wasn't there. It was in Hawaii. I wish I knew more about the election and how it worked. I don't. It's not something that I'm tracking closely. I'm waiting to hear the result. I know there are 3 candidates. I know they're voting, but I don't know the public really cares that much about who that executive director is, despite the fact that it is an enormously significant hire and somebody that will have a huge influence on the NFL for years to come. But the public isn't waiting for an ESPN alert saying, you know, who's the next director of the NFLPA?
Well, the public doesn't care until we get to the next CBA.
Correct.
You know, and how contentious. I think he's going to be more contentious than someone from the outside, a non-former player.
Because that's what people have wanted. Because why? Why do you feel?
I think that's what players want. Yeah. You know, from talking to guys really didn't. A handful of guys years ago, they weren't really big on DeNorris Smith. You know, I don't think anyone's ever happy with their rep. I mean, I had Gene Upshaw for my 9 years.
He did a great job.
The reason the players, he did, but the players didn't like how close he was with Tagliabue.
Correct. That's
they didn't like that. So I don't know. He seems like he's a fighter. And how much is he going to fight when we get closer to that new CBA with the 18th game and things like that? I don't know. That would be my concern, Adam.
I don't know enough about his stances. You know, I know JC. I've met him. I don't know how he deep down feels inside about certain things. Again,
is he qualified, Adam?
What was that?
Is he qualified? That'd be my only question.
Well, I mean, obviously, they felt he was. They felt he was. His constituents elected him. So they felt like he was qualified, right?
Well, the only reason I say that is my wife runs the M&A business for a very large company, and she's a jerk. She's a jerk. I mean, she is.
Okay.
To me as well.
What do you want Adam to say.
Adam's like,
well, I'm just saying.
I'm
I'm like,
keep talking here, pal, because I'm not weighing in on this.
I don't know if he's a negotiator. I don't know if he can negotiate. My wife's done it her whole life. I'm just saying, is he going to get from a play? This would be my concern as a player. Are you going to get walked all over, or are you going to be too big of a jerk where nothing gets done? That's the only reason I asked if he's qualified.
What I would say is it's up to him to find, I think, that happy medium where there are times when you are a jerk and there are times when you get what you want, and you got to figure out a way to thread that needle and deal with the NFL to get what you want, however that is.
I just wonder, Adam, if the owners are going, this is the best thing for us. We got him. You know, that would.
You know what I would say to that? And I don't know how they feel. We'll see. I'll see a bunch of the owners' meetings here in a couple of weeks in Arizona. But I would say I don't think they care who it is all that much. I think usually the NFL gets what it wants anyway.
Yeah.
Smart 18 that used for Wisconsin's sheet metal workers. If you want to earn more and build a career in the trades, this is where it starts. Better pay, incredible benefits, real training, real representation. This isn't just a job, it's a future. Learn more at smart18.com. Adam, I did notice on your tweet when you were discussing the election of J.C. Tretter, a lot of people were really focused on the reporting done by Pablo Torre. Do you know if any of that made any waves within the players' community? Because it has seemingly brought a lot of interest that I didn't expect into a position that typically isn't that talked about amongst fans.
You know, again, sure, that shined a spotlight on it. And Pablo had some strong work there. And there have been other people like Don Van Natta and Kalen Kaler who have reported on the NFLPA as well. Again, I'm just telling you, you're saying more people cared about the election. I don't know. It's amazing. I put up David Njoku visited the Browns yesterday, and I put up this guy was elected. And when you look at the numbers on the engagement, it's not even close. Much more people care about David Njoku visiting the Ravens than they did at the election of J.C. Tretter by the numbers. Okay, now J.C. Tretter's election is far more significant. You can't even compare it. But I'm just telling you how the public consumes things, and it's weird, but that's how it is because there was nothing yesterday that was more significant than the election of J.C. Tretter. But like if I go and look at the results on my Twitter timeline, I mean it's not close. Here we go. So yesterday, the initial news that J.C. Tretter was elected came down later in the afternoon. It was about 6 o'clock or so. Yeah, right. Literally. Okay, so J.C. Tretter just elected, 6:34. He got 952 likes, 1.4 million views. David Njoku visiting the Ravens, 13,000 likes, so 13 times more, and 1 million. So the engagement on it was very similar. So I just as important as it is, I just don't know that people care.
Yeah, it's part of it is over here. Obviously, Adam, we have Chew on this panel, and he obviously is a former player, so he's always interested in those ins and outs and sort of the minutia that sort of goes on behind the scenes. I want to move on though because we talked yesterday about Matt Leinart, who apparently at one point was asked about retiring his number at USC, or his number is retired rather. He was asked if he would allow it to be unretired for a recruit who theoretically wanted to wear number 11. And in the NFL yesterday, you probably saw that Bob Harlan's name is being put up on the facade at Lambeau Field. So this got us thinking about retiring numbers and putting names on facades and whatnot. And our position was numbers should no longer be retired because you're going to run out of numbers, right? If sports exist into infinity and you keep having great and elite players roll through and you keep retiring their numbers in honor of their existence, well, what are we going to do here? What is your take on the retiring of numbers in the professional leagues, NFL specifically?
Well, the NFL, it's an issue because you got a 53-man roster. You got 16, 17 on the practice squad. So there's only so many numbers you can retire before you run out of numbers. I don't think it's an issue in basketball. I don't think it's an issue in hockey. I don't think it's an issue in baseball. How many numbers have the Yankees retired? I mean, you could probably do a Google search right now and it's not impacting how many, what numbers players are wearing. But in football, it is a little bit of a sensitive issue. There are only so many numbers that there are. Some recruit, like, boy, I don't love that. Like, I just don't love that. Like, Malik Neighbors came in and wore the number that the New York Giants had retired. And in football, like I said, you're running short on the little numbers, and this guy's family signed off on it, and they felt like he was their first-round draft pick. He was like some recruit. How do we know that some recruit's even going to make a mark in college, that you're giving him the jersey number of a Heisman Trophy winner that you had retired? I don't love that. I don't love that. I don't love unretiring numbers at all, except for special exceptions. Like, I'm making this up. Peyton Manning signs in Denver, and he asked Frank Trepuk, his family, as I think he did, would you mind if I wore 18 for Peyton? Like, oh no, we'd be honored. We'd be honored. It should be an honor for the guy who had his number retired to give that new person his number. That's how I would look at it.
Well, you probably saw the precedent that Carson Palmer gave permission to Jordan Addison to wear number 3 at USC. And so I think that's probably what opened the door to, well, hey, if we get a 5-star recruit in here and they want to wear Matt Leinert's number, how willing would Matt Leinart be to allow that recruit if that's what seals the deal?
That's fine. Matt Leinart didn't want to do it, and that's his right. They gave, but if that's how he feels, I got no problem with that. Like, that's fine. You want to be a little selfish about it? No problem. I have no idea how qualified this recruit is. I don't know anything about the recruit, right? So I don't know whether he's a 2-star or 4-star, 5-star. No idea. So,
but he's got to be a 5. He's got to be a 5-star to even ask for that, wouldn't you say? Yeah. I mean, they're not going to give it to a 2-star. They'll be like, hey, go to Cal.
How many 5-stars? First of all, how many 5-stars prove their worth? How many 5-stars stick at a school and don't transfer?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions I have before I'm giving up my retired number.
Adam, with the owners' meeting less than 2 weeks away, can we expect anything of substance coming out of it? Rule changes, anything?
I haven't heard anything like that. No, I'm not expecting an overly significant. There's no push discussion this year. Maybe they'll talk about the kickoff. I think we'll get a Wednesday night opener this year as opposed to a Thursday night. I think we'll get games Wednesday and Thursday as the league continues to just dominate the calendar. Probably we'll get announcements then, I'm going to guess.
Will we get any clarification from the Sky Judge and how they're going to handle that? Wasn't there something about...
I don't know where they're at on that.
Okay.
Adam, do you expect the Miami Dolphins roster purge to be done? And then secondly, A.J. Brown, is he going to be moved after that June 1st date where it becomes less of a significant cap hit to the Eagles?
Well, I don't know how many more players the Dolphins have to trade, number one. I mean, Devon Achane would be one, and I don't think they're looking to deal him, but certainly they've shown that anybody could be had here this offseason. A.J. Brown, the issue a lot of people I saw when Jalen Waddle gets traded for 1 to 3 people like, oh, that's what the Eagles should get. Well, just because somebody buys a house in your block for $1 million doesn't mean that everybody in the house is getting $1 million for their house. There has to be another buyer, and there aren't a lot of buyers now because there are people who bought homes. The Broncos bought Jalen Waddle, and the Buffalo Bills bought DJ Moore, and I'm trying to think of some of the other wide receivers who are out there. The Patriots bought Romeo Doubs, right? So I don't know how many more buyers there are for A.J. Brown. I think it's a smaller number, and the Eagles would like to wait until post-June 1 for the cap purposes. And so after the draft, there are going to be some teams that take wide receivers in round 1 or 2 that they're not going to want to trade for A.J. Brown. So the market, I don't think it's robust for A.J. Brown services, but all it takes is one, and I think that possibility certainly is out there, but it's not close to happening right now.
Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us today. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
He's Adam Schefter, joins us each and every Wednesday here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. He is brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. Just like the moves made in the pros, Tony Wendorf and Associates Keller Williams helps people make their own big moves every day. Trusted knowledge, superior service. They're the real estate MVPs of Wisconsin. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, make the move and get in touch with Tony Wendorf and Associates. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament.
Things are
action
backing up
this
a bit.
March
Westbound
at 3rd
on
Street Market Hall, home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
Clinton Yates here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast. Others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Progressive presents ways to save money that aren't bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive.
I can't believe the deal we got on these seats for the game.
Wow, they must be pretty high up here. I think my ears just popped.
Yeah, here, put this on.
Is that an oxygen mask?
An official team oxygen mask.
Well, I can kind of see the field.
Good, your senses are still sharp. You're going to need them for phase 2 of the ascent.
Don't save money by sitting in the nosebleeds. You could save hundreds by switching to Progressive. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This college basketball tournament moment is brought to you by Marriott Bonvoy.
After rupturing his Achilles celebrating the team's Sun Belt Tournament championship, Georgia State head coach Ron Hunter was forced to roll the sidelines of the NCAA tournament on a stool with wheels. In the opening round, 14th-seeded Georgia State faced 3rd-seeded Baylor. Down 2, R.J. Hunter, the coach's son, hit a game-winning three-pointer, causing his father to fly off his stool, celebrating on the floor.
Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Harry Douglas here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I don't know which is which, but here's what I do.
Yes, all right.
I take the plus and I put it to the plus. I take the minus and I put it to the minus.
Yeah, but the jacker things don't have the...
Yeah, they do.
Where?
Sure do. On the handles.
What's a jacker thing? I mean, it's something that your wife keeps in the drawer.
He meant jumper cables.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If you missed Adam Schefter, you can go back on the ESPN Wisconsin app, or you can even go back on YouTube and watch the full thing. And Adam Schefter is brought to you in part by the Island Resort and Casino. It's a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortsandcasino.com to book your total experience today.
here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is an adamant, regular aficionado of the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast. And as you mentioned when we were chatting with Adam Schefter just a few moments ago, Pablo has done a really deep dive into J.C. Tretter being named the top guy for the NFLPA. And I got to be honest, guys, it ain't all good. In fact, a lot of it's not good. So, Joshy, do me a favor and Cliff's notes this sucker down for our loyal listeners so they understand why there is some pushback, some reluctance from some football fans for J.C. Tretter to take this gig.
Yeah, J.C. Tretter is basically the focal point of all things that have happened recently within the NFLPA. The ousting of the former leader who was caught using funds to go to the strip club, and spending time basically not doing anything. J.C. Tretter was also embroiled in a case where he withheld information from the players, the people he represents, because it reflected poorly on him because of some of the things he said in text messages that was talking about players using language that wasn't too polite to them. In the ouster of the previous leader of the NFLPA, they installed somebody who both were handpicked by J.C. Tretter. The second one being the former leader of SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, who also found himself in hot water because he tried to kill the documentary, if you remember, The Open Secret, which was about pedophilia with inside of Hollywood. So those are the two people that they have chosen to elect. J.C. Tretter also then had to resign in shame, where he said, as you quoted him saying, I have no interest in doing it, despite him having interest to do it all the way. The NFLPA has offered many of the people who were working within the NFLPA in previous spots opportunity to leave with severances because they were, as according to people with knowledge of it, they believe they were trying to get rid of anybody who would propose any threat to them gaining more power and installing people that would be more familiar to them. And that's where the current representation Mabin is, and how they ended up back at J.C. Tretter because Mabin was installed by J.C. Tretter. So it seems like it's all basically a hostile takeover of something that has no interest of the players and the outcomes of, the health and the CBA negotiations. It seems to all be, some people believe, a personal grab of wealth for themselves.
It's just, this goes back to the players just aren't smart in situations like this. Because, when you negotiate billion-dollar, and this will be a multi-billion-dollar deal, negotiating is an art. It's a skill, and you don't just pick it up, over 3 months. That's something that takes years and years to develop. Now, you guys seen my negotiating skills. They're frowned upon. They're not great. They're not very good. But it is a skill, and he's not qualified. And I told I was talking to Josh over the air about what Adam was saying. I'm like, for a position like this, you go and get the best M&A negotiator out there, be Google, IBM, a financial institution. That's how much money is involved to negotiate this deal. Because I guarantee the owners are licking their chops and going, we got him. We got the 18th guy. Hey, yesterday we just got the 18th game. And they're stupid. If they don't go out and get someone that is overly qualified to negotiate this deal, the players will get walked all over again, and they'll walk away looking like idiots, which is what I anticipate.
When are we talking about the next time this all comes to a head?
2030.
2030?
And the public doesn't care because it doesn't really mean anything right now. But let me tell you what, they're going to care. And what is it, 26? They'll start negotiating that in probably
the public only cares if there's threat of a work stoppage.
Correct.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to ask Adam, what was the last work stop? What was the crux of the last one? In was it 2020? Because it's every 10 years. Where there was a training camp lockout. Training camp was so truncated. Remember, and Robert Kraft had to come in and save the day.
I did a quick Google search, and I didn't find the what led to the lockout. The last major work stoppage in the NFL was 2011, which lasted 132 days. Owners locked players out over revenue sharing and salary disputes. But the 2011 season proceeded without losing any regular season games after a new 10-year collective bargaining agreement was reached.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm not seeing, though, I mean, they mentioned, obviously, the revenue sharing and the salary disputes. I'm not sure about the nitty-gritty of that work stoppage. But to your point, Shu, it is well made. Fans only care if the threat of no football is real. And then, of course, you got to get pretty far down the road on negotiations going south in order for that to be a reality. So, yes, this is a little minutia. This is a little inside baseball, or inside football, to be more accurate, metaphorically. But I do think that if you are interested in this type of stuff and there's any level of concern that there might be it's not impropriety, Joshy, but what is the way to describe what people are concerned about with JC? That he was basically placed there, that he doesn't have the players' best interest in mind, that he's sort of a figurehead for the owners, and then that he'll essentially be negotiating against themselves, basically.
Correct. That he will not have the best interest of the players and the players' union, and that basically anything that you could I think a lot of people are anti, as much as everyone will watch it, as a whole, I think most of the NFL fan base is anti adding an extra regular season game. With J.C. Tretter there now negotiating it, you can pretty much kiss any hopes of that going away goodbye, because, I mean, I believe him and the previous guys who've done it are quoted as saying directly, I'm pro-business, which sounds right, but as a union leader and trying to protect your players and their health, that would pose, conflicts of interest. And that's basically the main issue here. I mean, I would suggest if you have any interest to go listen to both podcasts that Pablo Torre has done on this. There's extensive information. He talked to, I believe, the head of security within the building who detailed, in detail, what exactly was going on there. And it's not what you would ever expect for somebody who's supposed to have your best interests in mind.
And this was the issue with Gene Upshaw when he was our head. All right? The majority of guys in Green Bay did not like him. I did not like him. I don't know where Adam gets his information saying he was great, because he was far from great. We thought he was terrible. So
again, I don't want to sit here and be popping off about, impropriety and whatnot. But anytime there is this level of money involved in something, right? Guys are going to make sure they're going to leverage their way through situations. They're going to make sure that they have people in positions of power that can help them get what they want. You might not want to think it, but it's very House of Cards for anybody who saw that show back in the day when it was out there, right? It's and it's because this amount of money, this significant amount of money is involved. When we're talking about billions of dollars, people in positions of power don't want to take risks, don't want to take chances on who they're going to be negotiating against, and I think that is some of the concern.
You know who I would put on the payroll, Jen? I'd give him a call today, Gary Bettman. I'd say, walk me through this, because he was considered the best union, and he was NHL, I believe.
Correct.
Highly respected. I would say, let's put you on retainer. Tell me how to walk through this.
Isn't he still commissioner of the NHL? Is he?
Believe he is.
I was going to say, I think he might be a little busy now as commissioner of the NHL.
I haven't followed up recently on what he's up to, but I think he was last I checked.
Was he? All right. Hey, see if he wants to moonlight.
Yeah, like a side hustle?
Yeah, what the hell?
Side hustle his way through the NFLPA. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy's got to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
It's a little slow. Southbound 43, you're seeing backups from before Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive down towards Locust. On the northbound side, just a little bit heavy north of North Avenue up past Locust. We got northbound 4394 backing up, well, technically from before College Avenue all the way up through the Mitchell Interchange to about the KK River crossing, back on the brakes from Lapham to the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94, you're backed up from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, and then more delays past Calhoun to Brookfield Road. Eastbound, you're backing up from 92nd Street all the way to 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 38. Tonight, rain mix likely, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. Weather is brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Upgrade your wellness routine with an in-home infrared sauna. Visit goodhealthsaunas.com and check them out at the Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th at the State Fair Park Expo Center. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience with a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Bruston Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
It is the off season. We are just a few days/weeks removed from the free agency frenzy that saw the Packers make some moves. Got rid of a lot of guys, too. And Bleacher Report came out yesterday with its rankings of the top rosters currently in the NFL, ranking the 10 best rosters in the NFL so far. So I always like to take a look at these sort of things and see what the general consensus is on what is going on at 1265, et cetera, et cetera. And I got some bad news for Packers fans right now. And again, we recognize here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy that the offseason is a process. It is not just free agency. Of course, there will be the draft. Of course, there will be an opportunity to continue upgrading. But as it stands right now, Bleacher Report has ranked the top rosters in the league. They ranked it out to top 10, and then they gave out 3 honorable mentions. And Chew, Green Bay Packers are nowhere to be found. Would you be interested in knowing who they consider to be the top rosters in the league at this juncture?
Yes.
All righty. Let's see. The honorable mentions on this list are the Baltimore Ravens, the New England Patriots, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers roster was kind of mid.
Well, I thought the Patriots was pretty good.
Patriots was pretty good. I mean, made it to the Super Bowl. I haven't followed what departures they've had over the last few months, but you would think that would earn them some cachet on this list. Apparently not. So number 10 on this list is the San Francisco 49ers. Number 9 on the list are the Chargers. Number 8 on the list are the Houston Texans. Number 7 are the Chicago Bears. Number 6 are the Detroit Lions. Number 5 are the Seattle Seahawks. Number 4 are the Philadelphia Eagles. 3, the Buffalo Bills. 2, the Denver Broncos. And 1, the Los Angeles Rams. The first thing that pops to me, Chew, is a lot of NFC teams on that list. A lot of NFC opponents, including a couple in the division. Anything stand out to you?
I'm surprised Denver and Chicago were top 10. I mean, to me, Detroit, not Denver. Detroit seems like their window's closing. Chicago's roster's fine. I wouldn't call it great. I mean, they were, the 29th ranked defense last year, which is terrible. I know they had some additions, but I think the reason the Packers aren't on it is because they lost a lot of players through free agency. None of them were great, but there were some good players in there. I think we have to be truthful, and we have to see, because there are question marks. There's question marks at left tackle. Even though they did plug some of them, I still think they should have been an honorable mention. Because last year, Josh, you remember what they were last year?
What are you looking for?
They were top 10. I mean, they were top 10 roster, weren't they last year?
I can't remember last year's.
Okay,
I know by
they were
Vegas
top
odds
10.
they were.
Where I thought Baltimore last year, if my memory serves me correctly, were like number 1 or number 2, so they're dropped. So who knows? This is just something to do in the offseason, but I think the reason for this is they lost a lot of free agents. None of them were great, but they lost some good players, and they have to fill some positions.
I don't think Bleacher Report saying that the Packers aren't a top 13 roster in the league right now matters. But I do think it is interesting that it sort of shows what we've been saying, which is there are still holes to be filled here, right? If Bleacher Report, and again, take it for what it's worth, thought the Packers were closer to having a complete roster today in March, on March 17th/18th, I would feel a little bit better. I also think that, the draft picks, what do they have, 7 in the upcoming draft? Does that sound right, Joshy, that they have 7 draft picks in the 2026 draft? Of course, no first-round pick because of the Micah Parsons situation.
I'll have to Google that.
It just means that they're going to have to hit on those draft picks, right? And again, then I always go back to this, Chew. How much do you want a guy who has just been drafted to be playing significant snaps in their first year? The Packers have shown, and I know I don't want Matthew Golden to carry all this weight, but they have shown that they sort of like to ease guys in. And so I think the concern would be then, if you're easing guys in, if that's your preference, you don't necessarily want them starting from the jump. Is that going to be a problem, even if they address some of the needs in the upcoming draft?
Yeah.
Or do you think they've backfilled enough? They've backfilled well enough?
There's still more back. I think it's accentuated by, the lack of depth at important positions. I mean, D-line, Hargrove helped filling that role, but they still could use a player or two. Defensive end. You lose Gary and Ngabare. That's a very important position. He's in the corner position. And then they have a surplus, still have kind of a surplus at receiver. And then I wonder if they're factoring in how is Tucker Kraft going to come back and how's Micah Parsons going to come back. I mean, those are 2 major injuries. Some guys come back fine. Some guys come back right away. Some guys it takes a year. So I think there's a lot of factors at play here, but bottom line is we don't know. We don't know how these backups are going to play. We don't know. We really don't know about Golden. We've seen flashes, but we're thinking he's going to be good. But that's another position you got to wait and see how things play out. So it's probably they could have been an honorable mention, but I can understand with a lot of the questions that are out there why they left him out.
I'd like to check on the NFL page over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and see what the Packers' Super Bowl odds are at this point. Because one of our loyal listeners weighed in saying essentially that if their Super Bowl odds are in the top 10, then how can you claim that they have that their roster is outside of the top 10? And I think that's a fair enough point.
Right.
Well, unless you think it's coaching, right? We're talking roster, and there are obviously other variables that contribute to a team's overall success. So unless you think that maybe coaching is holding them back, it would be hard to square that, right? To square why they would be a favorite to win the Super Bowl, and by favorite I'm saying top 10, and not have a top 10 roster.
Let me ask you this. Well, you can't say this because Micah Parsons makes a big difference. But let's say they do nothing more in free agency, don't add any players, just go through the draft. How do you feel day one this past year when they had Parsons as opposed to this year? And let's not forget, they went 9-8. Are they better? Is the roster better? Is it worse? Or I'm putting it kind of at the same.
I don't think they lose 5 games to end the season.
I agree, but
I think they're a 10-11 win team.
10-11 team. Yeah, I mean, we have to wait to see,
Right.
you know,
And then
how
we
the
have the
schedule comes
Vikings
out,
game,
but I
which
agree.
was a not really a game. They didn't even try and win. Like, that all factors into what the record would be. But, I mean, it feels like they were well on their way to that victory against the Broncos, which then, what does that do for the momentum for the rest of the season? And how did those games
I
look?
agree. But you're not putting them at 13.
What do you mean in terms of roster? No.
13, no, next year as far as wins.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go that high. I think the NFC North is competitive enough where even the winner, if they have 12 wins, like that might win you the division because there might be some back and forth amongst teams there.
Like when the under-over comes out from Vegas, I'm going to say they're at 10.5.
Yeah, well, right now the Packers have the 6th best odds at Potawatomi for the Super Bowl. They are tied with, the Detroit Lions at plus 1,500. They're behind the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, the Seahawks, and the Rams.
No New England, huh?
No. And right now the win total is over 10.5. Yeah. Over under 10.5.
Which I would probably take the over. I agree.
Again, the benefit of this right now is that it is sort of a checkpoint, right? Well, the roster's not complete. We're not talking about it being, the start of the season and we're worried about how they're going to square up against the teams that are on their schedule. But I think it is interesting that when people look at this roster top to bottom, and in this case it's Bleacher Report's reporters, they don't think that it's close enough to be a top team right now. And for me, Chew, the takeaway from that is it just puts another level of pressure on the Green Bay Packers to nail the draft. You don't have that first round pick. You jump right to 2. I think I pulled the list up. Hold on, I had it here. 52, 84, 120, 160, 201, 236, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 7th round compensatory pick. So 7 picks right now in the draft. So you got to nail those, right? Because you're running out of options for filling this roster, right? And unless you think those guys who could step in are going to make significant leaps, I don't know that they're all going to be significantly better than the guys who departed. Even though you could argue it was the right thing to do, Chew, to move on from some of those players, right? Not overpay for average talent, not overpay for above average but not elite talent, and get that compensatory pick instead. You could still argue that that was the right thing to do, but it does amplify the pressure on nailing this draft if on March 18th, Bleacher Report says you don't have one of the top 10/top 13 rosters in the league. That's what I'm taking away from this information. I'm not going to overinflate it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, my God, the sky is falling. The Packers can't possibly, have success this season. I'm simply saying, interesting. An evaluation on this day indicates this. What does that mean for how important it is to nail the draft?
Oh, it's very important. And he's done better these last couple of years. I just don't understand why he lets some of these guys go. I mean, some of them I can understand, but some of them he screwed up so bad on Rasheed Walker. I'm sorry. If you threw money at him years ago, you wouldn't have to take another offensive line in the first round. I don't care what anyone says about Rasheed Walker is fine. We won with Bruce Wilkerson. They can certainly win. I'm sorry to take a shot at Bruce, but Bruce was old. They could certainly win with Rasheed Walker. So, but let me ask you guys this:
how are we still saying they screwed up on Rasheed Walker when they could have
the fact that he got $10 million, he got a 1-year deal.
Correct. I think that they should have kept him. And I know that you guys have talked about how versatile he is or lack thereof, but I still think if you're looking for that 6th guy on the line, I think there would have been value in having him as that guy. Now, again, I've mentioned he doesn't have the versatility maybe of being able to play all the positions, but I still think there was value in paying what he ended up getting on the open market to have some consistency with him there.
Yeah,
You'd love to have that first-round pick back. Or at least I would.
Yeah, but if Jordan Morgan ends up being better, then you say that was a great pick, right?
Yeah, which remains to be seen. I don't know if he
But doesn't that also get grouped in with the screw-up? The screw-up that Chewy is alleging, I'm saying.
I think the screw-up was by the coaching staff and picking the wrong guy to be the left tackle last year because they didn't want Sean Ryan to be a right guard. Then he played center, and now they ended up signing him. I think, as with a lot of things we've learned about the Green Bay Packers, they learn a lot of lessons the hard way. They try and get people to play out of position. They aren't as good at it, and the team suffers. Nate Hobbs, Grand example.
But if they claim to be a draft and develop team, they got the develop down. They just don't retain the players they develop.
I just wonder if it's time to RIP that. I know we talked about that a little bit last week, the whole idea that Green Bay's draft to develop. I just don't think that there is any indication that that is the way that this team and this roster is built now.
But let me ask you this, though. If the roster's not top 13, where do you put the coaches? Where do you put the coaches and the staff? I mean, because they're
I just don't know what to expect from Jonathan Gannon. Are we running it across the board where we're going Matt LaFleur and defensive coordinator?
Yeah, and all of them.
And again,
Stanovich, all of them.
The hope is that you have an upgrade at special teams coordinator for the third phase as well, but I don't know. I don't know enough to know if that's going to...
I mean...
If history's any indication...
I don't know. Would you rather have Hafley as D coordinator this year, or would you have Gannon? I mean, obviously we don't know.
I would love to hear from Gannon. I know that Jason Wilde has been banging that drum, but I would love to hear from Gannon so he can give us some information about the way that he plans on structuring this defense. You know, Green Bay has become more and more secret squirrel.
Yes.
You know, from the time I started covering them, you know what? Let's not do that math right now. I'm not sure I can.
40 years ago.
I'm only 45. You think I started covering the Packers when I was in kindergarten?
At what point do we have to sort of get rid of the jokes that I've been making of the Packers hiding him because he's not good in front of a mic and just believe that's their intent? I mean, how long ago did he sign at this point? Is there any other team in the NFL that hasn't had their defensive coordinator that was a new hire out in front of the media? I can't imagine.
I don't pay close enough attention to all of the moves around the league to know if it's standard operating procedure, but I know that, again, there would be value in being able to ask him questions about the roster construction, about how much input he has had in some of these people he has brought in. And I think that the fan base would benefit from that. They would like to hear that. Again, I don't think it's the sky is falling, panic time, sound the alarm, because Bleacher Report said that the Green Bay Packers are not a top 10/13 roster. I do think that if you don't look at that and go, okay, that means we have to nail the 7 total draft picks we have in the 2026 NFL draft because, like it or not, those guys are going to have to contribute. That's the way you should interpret this data. That's how I'm interpreting this data. That's how I'm planning on using it going forward. But I don't think that this is an indication on March 18th that the Packers don't have a shot at winning the NFC or being a Super Bowl contending team.
I agree.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to. I want to talk about USA Baseball, and I want to talk about Jack Hughes and his puck. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, it looks like we got a crash on the ramp from Highway 67 to 94 eastbound. It looks like it's a car that went off into the embankment into the snow. So the main line so far is handling things pretty well. It's right at the end of the ramp there, so just be extra careful. If you are going through there, you're probably going to need to kind of shift around it to get onto the freeway. Otherwise, northbound on 41, we got backups from just north of Blue Mound Road all the way up to about Hampton. On southbound, we've got backups from Capitol Drive down to Burleigh. Southbound 43, slowing down from Silver Spring pretty much to Locust. And then on the northbound side, out of the Mitchell interchange on 4394, we've got backups basically all the way up to the KK River crossing. By the way, northbound 794 also slowing down from before Howard Avenue all the way up to Oklahoma. Traffic is brought to you by Glenroy, now hiring. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's glenroy.com/careers. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, high of 38. Tonight,
the Yingling Legends Line. Exclusive insight from Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and Game Changers, all on the Yingling Legends Line.
Frank Kaminsky joining us here on Kyle Bruston-Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Who was your favorite teammate of all time?
The Yingling Legends Line.
See, it's a baiting question because you want me to say you. You were annoying to play with.
Yuengling, now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
An uninspired cookie-cutter trade show booth is unlikely to move the needle.
Picture this: lights, motion, energy, engagement. A space so bold it stops people mid-step.
That's what the award-winning team at Captivate Exhibits has been delivering for over 30 years.
From high-impact trade show exhibits to immersive lobbies, history walls, and culture-driven interiors, Captivate transforms ordinary square footage into unforgettable brand experiences.
Get started today at CaptivateExhibits.com. March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Feeling lucky? Then roll into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee this March for Lucky Rollers. Every Thursday, we're giving away over $70,000 in prizes. Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries, and you can roll out with $550 in reward play. Or get lucky and win your share of $16,000 in cash. Lucky Rollers, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe, it'll change your life. Any barbecue you eat for the rest of your life will be measured against Buc-ee's.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Can you feel it? The thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating three. You know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration, the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm going to be out there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook this weekend as we enjoy a little basketball action. You can catch all the action in a supreme space, dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxury seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and, of course, the creme de la creme, the monster video wall. You can become a legend at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. More information available online. Must be 21 years old. Enter the casino. So you guys sent me this yesterday, and I found it fascinating. Everybody watched USA compete in the Olympics, win the gold medal. Jack Hughes lose a tooth. It was immortalized in photographs. And the gold medal winning overtime goal was scored by Jack Hughes. The puck is now in the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is on display in Toronto, Canada. And Jack Hughes is on the record as saying, I'm trying to get the puck. Like, that's bull bleep that the Hockey Hall of Fame has it, in my opinion. Why would they have the puck? And I said, I got to agree with Jack Hughes here. Not that why would they have the puck, because duh, it makes sense why the Hockey Hall of Fame would have the puck. But if I were him, I'd want the puck. I'd want to keep that. And I'm not a big memorabilia gal. I'm not sitting here keeping stuff. My husband is a huge memorabilia guy. Needs a 3/4 zip or a golf ball from whatever golf course he's golfing at just to commemorate the moment. I'm not that person. But the golden goal from the gold medal game when USA won, if I scored that, I don't know, Chew. I might be a little territorial. What do you think?
I'm not a memorabilia guy either. I don't think he has the rights to it.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he does. But I know this, like in the NFL Hall of Fame, if there's a big moment in a game or something like that, they'll ask for the player's shoes, the gloves, the ball, etc. I don't know. Just let it go. I think it's cool that people will be able to go to the Hall of Fame and view it and see it. Hell of a lot more people than if it's in a trophy case in your house. I don't get this generation. I really don't. We used to, and you guys asked me before the show, like game balls and stuff like that. I've gotten probably 7 or 8 through my. I don't even know where they are. And we would always sign footballs. There would be twice a year, I think it was. Everyone would get in the locker room, and we would sign, the white paneled footballs. The whole team would sign them, like 400 of them, and I think we'd get like 2 or 3 of them. That's what I give away to charities. I have no idea. So I think it's cool that it's in the Hall of Fame. I think it should be. Let people be able to view it. I don't know.
I find the arguments and discussions about the difference of generations a little grating at times. But if you were ever to exemplify the young Gen Z and maybe the selfishness some people perceive them to have, it would be being mad that what most would think is the greatest honor as an athlete is to be enshrined forever in the Hall of Fame for your history-defining goal that can then be cherished for generations to come. I do understand, yes, you scored the goal, but it was a team effort. It was a monumental moment in the history of especially USA hockey. So it's strange to me, especially the tone he took. If you
calling it bull, you know what?
Yes, and if you go back and look at other significant golden goals in Olympic history, do you want to know who scored the last one? Sidney Crosby. Do you want to know where that puck is, where his stick is, where the net is from that? It's enshrined in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
the thing, cool. The thing I can't really wrap my mind around is, to me, as somebody who's never competed at a professional or international level, that to me would be such an honor. My picture and the moment I created that was rejoiced by millions across the nation is enshrined forever. Like, is it more important for it to be on your mantle?
Well, for whatever it's worth, he was asked if he has reached out to the Hall of Fame about the puck, and he said, no, at some point I'll get on it. So I wonder if it's not as much a priority as Jack Hughes is making it out to be, if he hasn't even inquired about maybe having the puck. I will tell you guys this. I did that story on Armando Galarraga, the Detroit Tigers pitcher who threw the perfect game, but of course it was ruled not a perfect game. We all know how that story went. All of his things from that game are enshrined in Cooperstown. So it was the perfect game that wasn't, and they felt that was a significant enough moment in baseball history to get his jersey and his glove and his cleats and all of that. But he has the ball, and that he wanted to keep the ball. He said, absolutely, you can have all of my things, but I want the ball. Now, it's a little bit of apples to oranges because in his case, he didn't get the distinction of the perfect game that he earned. Of course, Jack Hughes, they won the game. He has the gold medal, so he has all of those things. But I wonder if there was a way to sort of negotiate, hey, you can have my skates and my debt and the this and the, my whatever, my stick, but I would like to keep the puck. I wonder if that conversation could take place if it does feel important to him.
That adds an extra layer because hockey players are finicky about their equipment. Some players will use the same pair of gloves for like multiple years despite how worn out they are, and some will go through a new pair every 10 games. Sticks can last any sort of range of time. Some people aren't attached to them, some people are, and same with skates. Like it's all different. It just seems weird to me. The attitude taken and it's an insult to him or he's everybody knows Jack Hughes scored that goal. Somebody shows up in your house.
For Josh, for now they do.
Yeah, but Jack Hughes, if somebody's coming into his house, they're not going to be like, oh, you were on the Olympic team? They're going to know who Jack Hughes is.
So I'm sure his views will change the older he gets. Because it's just... it's embarrassing. I'll be at the gym or something, and all these snowbirds are coming in. And because I'm tall, they knew I did something. And like, do you play, And I'm like, yeah, I play for the Packers and stuff. What's your name? Chimera. Who? Chimera. How do you? Chimera. I said, just Google Brett Favre's tight end. That should be my last name.
Do not Google Brett Favre's tight end on a work computer. However, you might get something you don't want to see. Reaction rolling in on the YouTube stream. Mike says maybe finish reading his comment. He wants it for his dad. Yes, according to the ESPN article, Hughes wants that piece of history for himself and his family, saying he would give the golden goal puck to his father. I do still think, guys, that diplomacy can reign here. You can have a conversation with the Hall of Fame and maybe say, actually, again, you guys were talking about rights. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know who has the right to the goal or the ball in the baseball case that we were talking about a few moments ago. I don't know how all that works. All I know is that if it's really important to him, I think you could have a conversation with the Hall of Fame and say, hey, how about this in exchange for that? Again, it doesn't hurt to have that conversation, right? But I feel like if I were in his position and I had, scored that goal, a part of me would want that puck as well. So I understand where he's coming from, even if his delivery wasn't as eloquent as Josh was hoping that it would be. 800-990-3776. Go ahead, Chu.
Is he a good NHL player? I have no idea.
Yes, he's very good.
He's very good?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do like, though, that these players recognize the significance of winning the gold medal in the Olympics, right? Mm-hmm. I like that he knows that this might be the pinnacle of his career.
There's also a degree to this. Like, I'm less caught up about if he has the puck or if they have the goal or if they have his gloves or stick, whatever it is. It's going public with it. I guess you were asked about it, but to go public in such a demonstrative way is sort of like, you could just handle this on your own. You don't need to call it BS and sound so unlikable about it.
Spoiled.
Yeah, that's the way it comes off. It comes off as spoiled.
I see. The trick is I didn't hear him say it, Joshy. So again, I'm reading the quotes. I'm seeing it. It's been aggregated on ESPN. It's been aggregated on all the platforms. I would like to see how he delivers it. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to reading their quotes versus hearing how it was delivered. Even if there's a curse word in the middle of it that might make it seem more scathing than it was intended to be. 800-990-3776. Let us know what you think. Jack Hughes wants to keep the puck from the gold medal winning overtime goal for Team USA in the Winter Games. It is currently in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. Where do you stand on this one? Let us know, 800-990-3776. What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for 25 cents a day? That's what I get with my Good Health Sauna. You can see them in person at the State Fair Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 28th through the 29th. The perfect chance to step inside a unit, compare models, ask questions, and find out just how easy they are to install in your house. Yesterday, guys, after my workout, jumped in my Good Health Sauna. It makes such a world of difference with my recovery. My muscles bounce back so much faster than if I don't use the sauna. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, you can find Good Health Saunas at the State Fair Park Expo Center, March 20th through the 29th.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound on 94, basically on the ramp from Highway 67, we've got a crash. It is looks like a minivan that ended up off of the roadway off to the right, so you do want to be extra careful heading through there. The main line's handling it just fine. You're not seeing any problems there. The next time you're going to see some delays on the eastbound side is going to be from 84th Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound's backed up from 35th to Mitchell Boulevard, and then again from Moreland Road all the way to Brookfield Road. Southbound 43, watch for delays from Silver Spring, pretty much all the way down to Locust. The northbound side's heavy from North Avenue up to Locust. And then northbound on 41, we got backups from Wisconsin Avenue all the way up almost to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 38. Tonight, rain-snow mix likely, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another two-man scramble tournament is underway. Play Georgia Golf Club for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by March 31st. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
Progressive presents ways to save money that aren't bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive.
Thanks again for taking me to the game, man. I can't wait to get in there. By the way, what's in the bag?
Oh, I bring my own hot dog and peanuts. Saves a ton.
Savvy. And what about the beach chairs?
Why buy seats when you can save big and bring your own?
We can't get in without tickets.
Tickets? What do you think the portable TV is for?
Don't save money pretending to go to the game. You could save hundreds by switching to Progressive. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Every March, are brackets the only thing you can think about? Do you have symptoms such as constant bracket obsession or moderate to severe bracket-related distractions? You may be living with bracket brain. Thankfully, there's ESPN Tournament Challenge, the #1 proven way to treat bracket brain right at the source. So this March, download the ESPN Tournament Challenge app, fill out your men's bracket, and get you and your brain in the game. ESPN Tournament Challenge. Play the #1 bracket game. Presented by Allstate.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. Confetti Craze makes it easy to turn any day into a party with its delicious birthday cake flavor and big birthday energy. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. I bring these tiny bottles everywhere to cakeify my day with tasty caffeine boosts. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm telling you, don't doubt his story because he heebie-jeebies at certain times to miss field goals.
Yeah.
Gabe, I showed you how he does the heebie-jeebies,
Heebie-jeebie,
right?
heebie-jeebie, heebie-jeebie.
You take your
heebie-jeebie.
fingers and you rub them back and forth on your thigh and you go heebie-jeebie, heebie-jeebie. Swear the guy bats 100%. So to call him a liar and he puts a curse on you?
Look, I'm not calling him a liar.
Yeah, you are.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We've enjoyed having Professional Construction Inc. help us with our home projects, and we got them handling another one for us. Yep, that's right. PCI is coming out. You're going to take care of something for us. And if you find yourself building a new home or you got a remodeling project or a home addition, the PCI team can be here for you as well. They are now also offering a virtual interior design program. What does that mean? Well, maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you are ready to get some ideas and refresh an outdated room. The PCI team will give you photorealistic renderings, a mood board, a curated shopping list, all delivered directly to you. Learn more about this new feature at professionalconstructioninc.com. It's professionalconstructioninc.com. I saw the USA baseball team lose to Venezuela last night, locked in. And Josh, you made a good point. It was a little bit of a boring game. You know, Venezuela had USA's number for a while. It was 1-0, then it was 2-0, and it looked like at one point I heard the announcers go, USA down to their final 10 outs. And I was like, well, that's still a lot of That's a lot of baseball left, right, Chew? Somebody says USA Baseball down to their final 10 outs.
That's probably 4 or 5 pitchers.
I was like, okay, well, there's still time. And there was time for Bryce Harper to go up there. And even though he had been struggling mightily in this World Baseball Classic, I think I saw his stat line at 5 of 27 headed into that at-bat. He hits a dinger, a 2-run home run to tie up the game. I will tell you this, though. It was very obvious on the broadcast, Chew, that it was a pro-Venezuela crowd. They're saying that Miami, which was the city that the game was taking place in, is the largest Venezuelan community in the United States. Not a big shock there based on proximity and location, but that the Venezuelans came out. They showed up. And you could hear it on the broadcast when Venezuela would make a big play, that it seemed like the stadium was, firmly behind them. What was your biggest takeaway, Joshy, from USA Baseball losing to Venezuela in the championship game?
It didn't feel like the U.S. was as invested as the other countries. It felt like there was a more fan engagement, more fan passion, and more player passion. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. American baseball players are famous for not showing emotion and regulating the emotions of others. It felt like the team never fully got going into what their actual potential was, with so many former MVPs and all-star appearances amongst all those players. It just didn't have the right vibe to it. The second part I felt was Mark DeRosa shouldn't be involved. And is entirely unqualified to be of the position that he was in. I think if you want to treat it seriously and you want to get further fan engagement and passion into it, pick a serious owner, a serious manager who's going to know all the rules, practice all the rules. He was quoted when asked about Mason Miller. They said they wanted to do right by the Padres. And if in the 9th inning the U.S. team had gotten a lead, they would have brought Mason Miller in. The problem, if you've ever watched baseball before, when you're the home team and you take a lead in the 9th inning, the game's over. So he couldn't have pitched after that. So it just didn't have the right feeling. And there's also an aspect, too, of so many of the MLB players and the insurance policies limit truly who's able to compete and to compete to probably the degree they need to. I don't know if extending the duration and not having games so close to one another would help prevent any of that. Because certainly, like a Tariq Skubal would have been great as an option in the championship game, but he wasn't because he wanted to do right by the Detroit Tigers. They threw out McLean, who I thought pitched well, but it's just the limitations of the professional game do have a trickle-down effect on the results you get in the World Baseball.
And look, too, a lot of those rosters for the Venezuela, Dominican Republic, they have a lot of Major League Baseball players on them as well. Did it feel to you like maybe it meant more to these other countries? Like this is the pinnacle, this is the top, this is the biggest stage some of these guys will ever play on, and therefore they were that much more invested than maybe the guys on the USA team whose season starts in just a week.
Yeah, there's no tradition here. Like hockey, there's a tradition, going back to the 80s, gold medal team. It's just different. This would probably be much better if they did it the way hockey does. Get rid of the All-Star game and then give the players, what would they give them off for the Olympics? 2 weeks? Would that work, or would they still be so guarded?
I think because of the amount of investment in the players and the amount of contracts a lot of those guys have, it would still be limited. Now, it is to a degree up to each individual and their team. And if you're Shohei Ohtani and you want to go out there and pitch you're probably going to get away with it because who are the Dodgers to tell you no? When you're the highest of the highest. When you're sort of more of the mid-level, top-end guy that's not necessarily going to be able to dictate as much, it gets a little more complicated. I also think it's like a cultural difference. We saw the Four Nations face-off. Those guys
was great.
Those guys weren't taking a moment to think about what their NHL team. It was all about there. And that's sort of, I think, even devoid of the contract stuff, they'll never be able to recreate that.
Why is baseball the most guarded sport? And it's the least physical. I get pitchers, okay? I get the pitchers, but outside of that, like, why the hell wouldn't you play in July and have this in July? Right? I I mean, football's kind of guarded. It is up to a point. Basketball, I would say not very. But baseball, man, come on. You're sitting in the outfield for how long and you get a couple fly balls?
When Venezuela went up in the 9th inning, I sat there and was like, okay, that was fun. I enjoyed tuning in to some baseball games that had a little more on the line than your average spring training game over the last week or so. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it, right? So I don't know if that was more of an indictment of USA's team. I don't know if it. I mean, if they had won, I would have been elated. I would have enjoyed it, but it probably would have fleeted just as quickly as it did with them losing. So I've told you guys this before. I love any sort of competition. I'll watch, table tennis on the television in, Germany in the early hours when I can't sleep because I'm jet lagged. If there's a good match going on, right? I just like competition. So I enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't a deal breaker for me. It wasn't make or break. I'm not going to sit here and be devastated over USA baseball losing to Venezuela. And I also, was able to do the consolation prize of, how great for Jackson Churio, right? Like there was that element when you've got guys from your team playing on other teams. I could sit there and go, good for him, which is exactly what I said when I saw Jackson Churio celebrating with the Venezuelan team, the victory out on the field.
How often do they do this? 2 or 4?
When's it? Is the next one 28? Is it 2 years?
Is it 2?
There's a long, complicated history of this, of MLB players being able to. They've got the Olympics coming up that they, I believe, are not necessarily totally committed to participating in at this point. As with all of these things, it's money determines a lot of what you see in terms of the results and the action on the field.
I do think, though, that it'd be cool to show up to a Brewers game wearing a USA Terang jersey.
He was awesome.
That'd be kind of cool.
He was one of the best hitters all World Baseball Classic. He was a staple of the Brewers, of the Team USA, and he seemingly came up with big hits all throughout the course of the World Baseball Classic. I'm so excited to watch him as a Brewer because I think he's getting even as good as he was last year. I think he's even better.
I would say the players probably loved it, doing this over going to training camp. I remember when we went to Japan in training camp, we had to do. But you look at the flight, I think we got an extra 3 days off, and we loved it.
I just checked on the old Nike site where you can buy the jerseys. Remember Gabe was ranting about, you can get a Jackson Churio Venezuela official jersey on the Nike site, $200. But
back order?
They only have 4XL.
Oh, okay.
Every other size.
Don't say it.
No, you're not a 4XL. You're just an XLT. Oh, a 2XLT.
Well, I was waiting
right.
for one of you guys to pop off.
My whole point was the Jackson Churio jersey is obviously very popular if it's sold out in every size other than the 4XL. I wonder about a Bryce Terang. Should we see about a Bryce Terang?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's not available for purchase.
Yep. I'm going to look it up right now. USA jersey. You think it's going to be sold out as well?
Not the 4XLs. Will be available.
What was it? WBC. Nike. Where's the Nike one? I'm not even seeing a Nike one. All right, hold on. MLB Shop Official. $200. Bryce Terang. Sold out. Oh, no, pre-order. You can pre-order it, but you probably won't have it in time for opening day. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. So instead of what it used to be where the site just didn't have it up and they weren't available for purchase, you can now pre-order them and get them at a future date whenever they decide to get around to printing more.
That seems like a fun little thing to own, though. I might have
that'd be a cool
have to do a little purchase here for a Bryce Terang USA jersey, Nike official. Josh and Heartland weighing in saying the WBC is every 3 years, and thank you to Justin who also confirmed that. Josh and Heartland saying Venezuela had 3 Brewers on the team, not just Jackson Churio. Churio's the only one I saw celebrating. That was what I said. Good for him. That was my point of reference. Appreciate you, Josh. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and we will be right back after this. Remember, the Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll takes your opinions each and every day here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Refresh your home with roofing, siding, or windows, all backed by their lifetime workmanship warranty. That's infinityexteriors.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Josh DiMaggio here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I've been on this journey since January and already lost 30 pounds. It's been easy, safe, and their team continue to help me reach my goals. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. And for a limited time, get $200 off the spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
It's tournament time when the most talented teams survive and advance. And whether you're cutting down the nets or cutting through resumes, one thing's clear. The best teams are built with the best people. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. Their smart matching technology finds qualified candidates fast. You can add screening questions to get the right applicants and even filter to see who's recently active. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is offering 0% interest for 72 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends March 31st, 2026.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What's the one thing you say almost weekly here on the show?
Less eat.
Try again.
I don't know.
What's the one thing you've got?
Big boobs.
You've got time.
Oh, time.
You've got time.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
We got there.
Took off. I needed a few more hints.
Yeah.
What?
You put you in a... That's Dave's fault.
On 94.5 ESPN.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. You can also visit their showroom in Brookfield. Don't think twice. Call Geist. GEISdoors.com. GEISdoors.com. Today's Infinity Exteriors poll, do you print a paper ticket at the airport? Chewy says he does because it's a fail-safe. Never has to worry about the paper boarding ticket not working. 67% of people say, nah, man.
That's still a win.
33%'s a win? All right,
Yeah, sure.
All right, fair enough. Do you believe the Green Bay Packers have a top 10 NFL roster right now? 67% also say no to that. Wildy and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody.
Eastbound on 94, basically on the ramp from Highway 67, we've got a crash.